guys. Hi, Jocko. Hi, Francis.
Hey,
Hi.
Ashley.
You
How
both,
you
How
doing?
are you?
you both look nice. I'm doing good. I love your background. We're all in the floral department, right?
Yeah, plants. Let it
I love to
grow.
see
Let
it.
it breathe.
I love to see it. Okay, look, you two are coming in hot this season. You have the fans and the viewers like, okay, what is really going on? Especially the upcoming episode. But I'm not going to say anything because that hasn't aired yet. Jocko, Dr. Reynolds returned earlier this season. You're no longer engaged. Interesting. Francis, your character, Dr. Malvo, is a new addition to the New Amsterdam team as the head of the OB. And there may or may not be, or at least it appears to be something brewing between Dr. Malvo and Dr. Reynolds. I don't know. That's why we're here today. We have to break this all down. Um, Jocko, New Amsterdam continues to tackle, these real life issues, especially this season, from systemic racism to the pandemic. You guys are not afraid and do not shy away from talking about what's going on in the real world. How has filming this season, been different from you from the previous two seasons?
Well, first and foremost, the thing that stands out the most is the fact that we're coming we're coming off of this horrible pandemic, and a lot of things have happened. The world seems to be on the path of some sort of change through protests, through the voices in the streets, through the Black Lives Matter, with the death of George Floyd. So it just simultaneously coincided with all of these events in the country that sort of have been in one way ripping the country apart and in other ways bringing us together. And so they were very relevant. And it just, makes me happy and proud to be a part of something like this, particularly a show where we're going to touch on these things. And also what's a little bit different this season, um, we have some episodes where we hit you, I'm not going to lie, we hit you over the head with it, because that's what we need in this day
Right.
and age a lot of times. But we had some lighthearted moments. The fact that Max attempted to end racism in one way was to paint a Black Lives Matter sign in the middle of the floor. And then the Black character, myself, Dr. Reynolds, walks in and ironically slips on the sign and falls and hurts himself. I look at Max and I'm like, you're trying to end racism with paint. Like, what's going on here? What are you going to really do about what's going on here? Like the fact that Black doctors get paid 35% less than white doctors do. So in good New Amsterdam form, the writers are still hitting you with these little gems of information and these facts, but we try to keep it lighthearted whenever we can. So I see that that's an interesting change this season as well.
You guys are dropping the gems and educating folks, I will say. I mean, it's an educational form or tool for people to tune in and watch. Um, Francis, we are introduced to your beautiful character. You look so gorgeous. Even in your white coat, you look gorgeous. We're introduced to your character, Dr. Malvo, in the eighth episode entitled Catch. I have to ask you, what is her backstory? What information were you provided to build off of for this character?
What I knew is exactly what you guys saw. I knew that she's an OB.
Mhm.
Um, she's an OBGYN. She runs the department. And I knew that, she was going to meet this guy and they were going to kind of butt heads at first. But what I found really, and then I knew at the end that she had a ring. I didn't know what that actually meant
Oh,
for her and for them. So, but what I really did love about it was I loved that initially there was a little bit of a friction between them. But what really intrigued me was in the surgery, like the way that she takes care of him, kind of when she sees that he's struggling a little bit, like it's kind of new territory for him or brings up old territory with losing a fetus losing the baby during the residency. And I just love that. I love that she tried to take care of him in that moment to play music. And then, they have more in common than they realize. So,
ooh, okay. Now giving us a lot there, Jocko. Okay, talk to us about this upcoming episode. Again, I'm not gonna I don't want to spill anything, but can you tease? Because there is this moment that happens. And I'm left like, okay, what's going on? Okay, what do we have here? You guys, what can you tell us about what's to come in this situationship, friendship, budding relationship? What's going on with you two? Talk to us.
Is can we still use entanglement, or was that
And
2020?
wait a minute, not
Can we say no? I'm just kidding.
oh,
I'm just kidding. No. It feels like that because what I like with the two characters is the fact that there is a shift in power
right.
constantly. Like when we first meet, I go into her territory,
Yeah.
right? And she's like, she says, "This is how I handle things around here, and you guys should have been handling it that way. And this is what it is." And she gave a prediction as to what was going on with our patient, and she was
She was
correct.
right.
Then we go back, yeah, right. And then we go into my territory in the OR. But then again, it shifts again when I start to, be a little out of place with the situation. So she's there, like she said, to comfort me and have the music, and that felt good. But then I noticed another power shift once she explains her situation.
Mm,
Once she explains her situation to Reynolds and like, look, I'm as we saw in the past episode,
right.
I am married, yes, and we have this arrangement, we have this agreement, and at that point, the ball is in Reynolds' court, right?
Right.
So he can do what he wants with it, and he decides to more or less walk away. And
Mm-hmm.
so, what we have in this upcoming episode, you have something similar again. It's just this power shift back and forth. I mean, who's going to make a move? Who's going to walk away? And I think we'll be glad to know that we get to see that played out all the way through the end of the season. Like it's just
So
it
y'all
gets
gonna be
wild.
tugging on our heartstrings, right? Y'all gonna be pulling our emotions, basically.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's great to see Black characters in something interesting on a predominantly white show, or what I would call a mainstream show.
Right.
It's usually the non-Black characters that get to have this sort of fun and this attention. But when I read this, moving forward, I was really pleased with the writers for being that courageous, as they are. These are the most courageous writers in television, tackling all of these issues, but to not be afraid to see that Black people get involved in situations as well.
And
So it's been
what I
fun.
really love, Jocko, is that
Mm.
like Reynolds, it's fun kind of watching him be he's kind of like knocked off his square a little with
Yeah.
Malvo.
Yeah.
So he's not like the like really confident guy that like we're used to seeing. And
There
you
is
Right.
something there. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like you're constantly like in the moments where we're not talking, like where he's just looking at Malvo, like it's like you kind of see him thinking like, could this be my person? Is this that? But there's this other
Mm.
situation. Like he's trying to figure it out because it's almost like, okay, if you meet the person that you might think is the one,
Mm.
but then there's another, like, what do you do with that?
Right.
So I love
Right.
that he's not as assured in the situation, even though he might walk away, like they still hang out because you just didn't come inside.
Right.
We still
Right.
went for drinks.
I love
Exactly. That's yeah.
Francis, before I let you guys go, what do you hope as people are introduced and learning more about your character? What do you hope people learn from Dr. Malvo?
Um, that it's okay to be confident
Mm,
and good at what you do. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't also be vulnerable.
mm,
You can't be soft, because I love in the moments with him, like she's soft, but when she's in the surgery and she needs to take over, she gets right to it. She doesn't get hysterical about it. She knows and it's okay to be both. And I think a lot of times as women, especially Black women on TV, is like you don't often get the chance to be like three-dimensional in that way. So that was something that I really wanted to make sure was there, and it's in the writing, but I wanted to make sure that I bought that especially as well, because we're not the same with everyone,
right, right.
So I love that. I love that she gets to be vulnerable with him and have that moment of like a little bit of egg on her face and like embarrassment, and he kind of rescues her from that. And
Right.
those are the ways people get closer. So I love it.
I'm rooting for it. What's y'all's name? We had Tomcat. What are you guys? We had Kim Ye. What are we gonna name you guys? We need a name.
Oh
Jocko.
yeah. Somebody said something. I haven't even. Did anybody hit you with a name yet, Francis?
What's our name?
I I saw
Uh,
Flynn.
you saw, was it
Flynn?
Oh,
Flynn?
Lloyd
Okay, yeah,
Wayne.
Lynn
Lloyd.
Malvo,
Okay, okay.
Flynn,
That's interesting.
or the Ralvo doesn't work. We got to work on that one,
Yeah.
Ashley.
The next
It's
time
about
we,
time we. Yeah,
yeah, when y'all come back, we need a name.
We need a
yeah,
name.
Let's
we
get
We
do.
need a
that
name.
going. Look,
We'll have a better sense of where this is going.
right. Look, I'm just excited for this black love or potential black love that's being displayed on this screen. I'm here for it. Thank you guys. I'm so excited to see what
Thank
happens
you.
next. Jocko, I always love talking to you. Francis, you are absolutely gorgeous. Love
Thank
seeing
you.
you on screen. Thank you both.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ashley.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Where is the buzz?
Oh,
Where is the buzz? You said was mine, oh, mine. Where is the buzz? Ooh.